We have major paleontology news as a new fossil site from Mexico that's already being compared to the Brea Tarpits has yielded ancient DNA that's changing our understanding of mammoths. Brea was a death trap because it was a tar pit, and I mean, it still is a tar pit, but animals would get stuck in it, and then other animals would come try to get an easy meal. They'd also get stuck, and it was just a huge death trap. This area seems to have been a shallow lake, though. They have found the remains of over 500 mammoths, 200 camels, 70 horses, 15 giant ground sloths, and then they've also found the remains of direwolves, saber-toothed cats, glyptodons, birds, including one of only 2 flamingo fossil eggs ever discovered, and 1 human, which I talked more about in my subscriber-only video yesterday. I need to learn more before I talk about that person in this video. There will be more studies to talk about eventually, but the first that's been published that I'm talking about in this video specifically talks about the Columbian mammoth because they were able to get DNA from over 60 Columbian mammoths. So this right here is showing all of this new mitochondrial DNA that they were able to sequence. And the orangish brown dots on here, those are Columbian mammoths. The light blue, those are woolly mammoths, and the dark blue, which you can see up here, that's the steppe mammoth, a really ancient Siberian species. The Columbian mammoth was a strange result of the offspring between a steppe mammoth-like population and woolly mammoths that hybridized. And eventually, the Columbian mammoth, they seem to have carved out their niche in the interior of North America. And that's one of the interesting new discoveries here, is that over here in Mexico, this population they studied is very different than the Columbian mammoth populations they had studied up north. In fact, the DNA suggests that they last shared a common ancestor between 400 and 300,000 years ago, meaning one could potentially argue that this Mexican population could be their own species of mammoth. Someone already put forth the name the Mexican mammoth. It's clearly a very messy family tree, but even with that Mexican mammoth population, there were 3 distinct lineages that had been living in isolation. They hypothesized that this kind of population structure could have been the result of populations that became isolated due to the volcanic regions in this basin of Mexico. All in all, it's a really exciting find, and one of the big things here that sets it apart from the Brea tar pits is the fact that they were able to sequence this ancient DNA, which is destroyed in the tar pits. So, carbon dates suggest these mammoths, they all died between 16,000 and 11,000 years ago. I am expecting to learn a lot about these animals in this time period as we see more and more studies come out, and it could help us better understand why these megafauna populations went extinct.